Hey friends, if you're really looking forward to the adrenaline-fueled excitement of Mortal Kombat 2, set to hit screens in October 2025, then you've come to the perfect place. If this is your first time checking out our channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our in-depth movie breakdowns and updates on all the hottest releases. Today, we're going all in on Mortal Kombat 2, covering everything from the movie's plot and what makes the storyline so gripping, to exactly where you'll be able to stream or watch it on satellite TV once it's available. We're going to dive deep into the behind-the-scenes action, talking about the cutting-edge special effects that bring the intense battles to life, the fight choreography that keeps the energy high, and the soundtrack that perfectly sets the tone for all the epic moments. You'll also get a peek into the entire production process, from pre-production planning and filming to the post-production magic that polishes everything up. Plus, we'll discuss the movie's budget and what to expect at the box office, giving you an idea of how this sequel measures up in the beloved Mortal Kombat franchise. Of course, we can't forget the story itself, so I'll give you a solid overview along with a quick review to whet your appetite. And let's not forget the talented cast who bring these iconic characters to life. We'll highlight the actors, their performances, and which fighters they portray in this highly anticipated follow-up. So if you want the full scoop on Mortal Kombat 2, hang tight and watch the entire video because I've got all the details you need to get hyped for this explosive new chapter in the Mortal Kombat saga. Let's dive right in. Mortal Kombat 2 kicks off with the stakes higher than ever as the battle for Earthrealm intensifies, throwing our heroes right into the heart of chaos and fierce competition. The story picks up after the events of the first film, plunging us deeper into the brutal tournament where fighters from different realms clash in electrifying battles to determine the fate of their worlds. The narrative moves forward with a mix of straightforward action and moments that shake up the usual flow, playing with time and perspective to keep you guessing. We see flashbacks that reveal crucial backstories and motivations of key characters, adding layers to their fights and alliances. The plot is packed with intense turning points, betrayals that hit hard, unexpected team-ups, and escalating conflicts that raise the emotional stakes beyond just the physical battles. Every fight isn't just about power or skill, it's tied to deeper personal struggles and themes of redemption, loyalty, and sacrifice. The pacing keeps you hooked as the story jumps between pulse-pounding action sequences and quieter, character-driven moments that build tension and deepen the narrative. The film doesn't just stick to a linear path, it teases the audience with shifting viewpoints and hints at future twists, making the journey through the Mortal Kombat tournament feel fresh and unpredictable. Throughout the story, the characters' growth and the shifting alliances create a dynamic web of relationships that adds emotional weight to the brutal clashes, ensuring that every punch and kick resonates beyond the surface. The mix of myth, martial arts, and supernatural elements blends seamlessly, making the plot both thrilling and rich with lore. Overall, the narrative draws you into a high-stakes world where every decision can change the course of the fight, delivering a roller coaster of suspense, excitement, and surprising moments that keep the energy soaring from start to finish. In Mortal Kombat 2, the characters come alive with more depth and complexity than ever before, making their journeys just as captivating as the epic battles they fight. Each fighter isn't just throwing punches for the sake of action, they're driven by personal motivations and evolving relationships that shape how the story unfolds. Take the main heroes. Their growth is front and center as they grapple with the weight of their responsibilities and the consequences of their past choices. Some face inner conflicts that challenge their sense of honor or loyalty, pushing them to make tough decisions that change who they are by the end of the movie. Villains don't just play the bad guy role either. Their backstories and ambitions are explored, revealing layers that make their actions more understandable and even sympathetic at times. Relationships between characters, whether it's rivalries, alliances, or friendships, fuel a lot of the emotional tension. You'll see bonds tested in the heat of battle, trust built and broken, and surprising moments of cooperation that flip expectations on their heads. These dynamics keep the story engaging because the fights aren't just physical, they're battles of will, heart, and ideology. Some characters undergo striking transformations, evolving from uncertain warriors into confident champions, or from cold antagonists into more nuanced figures with their own codes and struggles. The way their arcs intertwine adds richness to the narrative, creating a web of connections that makes every scene more impactful. The mix of iconic fighters and new faces means there's a fresh energy throughout, with each character bringing their own style, strengths, and vulnerabilities. This layered approach to character development ensures that even amid the chaos and spectacle, the story stays grounded in the personal journeys that make Mortal Kombat 2 much more than just a fight tournament. It's a story about growth, conflict, and the power of connection in the face of overwhelming odds. The performances in Mortal Kombat 2 really pack a punch, with the cast fully diving into their roles and bringing a lot of energy and authenticity to their characters. The lead actors step up big time, balancing intense physicality with moments that show real emotion, making their fighters feel like more than just action heroes. You can tell they've put serious effort into understanding their characters' motivations and struggles, which adds layers beneath all the fight scenes. There are definitely standout performances that grab your attention, whether it's a surprising emotional scene where a character's vulnerabilities shine through or a villain who commands the screen with a mix of menace and charisma. The supporting cast also deserves major credit for rounding out the world and making it feel alive. Their interactions with the leads add texture and depth, elevating the stakes in ways that keep you invested beyond the battles. What's impressive is how the actors handle the physical demands without losing sight of the story, making the fights feel real and intense while still maintaining emotional weight. The chemistry between characters, whether it's tense rivalries or unexpected alliances, comes through naturally, which helps make the story believable and engaging. Some performances surprise with unexpected humor or subtle expressions that reveal more than words could, giving the film a nice balance between serious moments and lighter beats. Overall, the cast works together to create a dynamic and compelling experience, making Mortal Kombat 2 feel like a well-rounded story brought to life by actors who really care about their roles and the world they're part of. The director of Mortal Kombat 2 takes the wheel with a clear vision that drives the film's tone and mood from start to finish, blending intense action with moments that really pull you into the story's dark and gritty world. Right from the opening scenes, you get a sense of energy and urgency that never lets up, thanks to a smart balance between fast-paced sequences and quieter, more atmospheric moments that build tension. The stylistic choices are bold and memorable, from slick, tightly choreographed fight scenes that feel visceral and brutal to creative camera angles and dynamic shot compositions that put you right in the middle of the action. The director isn't afraid to play with lighting and color palettes, using shadow and contrast to highlight the supernatural elements while keeping the stakes feeling grounded and real. The pacing is another strong point, moving briskly enough to keep you hooked but pausing just long enough for character moments and plot twists to land with impact. You'll notice how the narrative flows smoothly even when jumping between different realms and characters, thanks to a clear storytelling vision that keeps everything connected and coherent. There's also a keen eye for detail in how the director stages scenes. Whether it's the chaos of battle or the quieter confrontations, every frame is composed to maximize tension and drama. The way the director blends practical effects with CGI creates a seamless experience that feels immersive without overwhelming the story. Throughout the film, there's a palpable sense of style that respects the source material's roots while bringing fresh energy and excitement, making the movie not just a spectacle but a fully realized world. Overall, the director's touch shapes Mortal Kombat 2 into a thrilling, visually engaging ride that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats while delivering a story that feels both epic and personal. The cinematography in Mortal Kombat 2 plays a huge role in bringing the world to life, using camera angles, lighting, and framing to ramp up the excitement and pull you deeper into the story. From the very first scene, the way the camera moves grabs your attention, whether it's tight close-ups that capture the intensity and emotions of the fighters or sweeping wide shots that showcase the scale and chaos of the battles. The lighting is carefully crafted to set the mood in every moment, shifting between dark, shadowy scenes that build tension and brighter, more dramatic setups that highlight the power and energy of the combat. There are visually striking moments throughout the film where the cinematography really shines, like when slow motion captures a crucial punch or a fatal move, making you feel every impact as if you were right there in the arena. Framing is used cleverly too, often positioning characters in ways that emphasize their strength, vulnerability, or the stakes of the fight, adding layers to the storytelling without needing a word of dialogue. The use of color and contrast helps create an atmosphere that feels both otherworldly and grounded. The supernatural elements glow with an eerie vibrance, while the more human moments are wrapped in naturalistic tones that keep things relatable. Key scenes build tension not just through action but through how the camera lingers on expressions, reactions, and the shifting dynamics between fighters, making every second feel charged. At times, the cinematography even brings a surprising beauty to the chaos, finding moments of grace amid the violence that add a poetic touch to the narrative. Overall, the visual storytelling is dynamic and immersive, making Mortal Kombat 2 not just a movie you watch, but an experience you feel through every expertly crafted shot. The editing in Mortal Kombat 2 really drives the film's momentum, keeping the energy high and the story moving at a pace that feels just right for an action-packed blockbuster. From one adrenaline-fueled fight scene to the next, the cuts are sharp and seamless, never letting the excitement drop or the tension slip away. The transitions between intense battles and quieter character moments are handled smoothly, giving the audience a chance to catch their breath without losing interest or momentum. The rhythm of the film has a natural flow that balances fast-paced sequences with slower, more deliberate scenes that build emotional weight and deepen the narrative. There are no awkward lulls where the story stalls or drags, and the editing cleverly uses timing to amplify the impact of key moments, like holding just a fraction longer on a character's reaction or speeding up the cuts during chaotic fights to ramp up the intensity. At the same time, the editing doesn't feel rushed. It allows the story to breathe and lets the audience fully engage with the characters and their struggles. The way scenes are stitched together also helps maintain a clear sense of geography and continuity, which is crucial in a movie with complex fight choreography and shifting locations. The pulse of the editing matches the film's tone perfectly, amplifying suspense when needed and then letting the story unfold more smoothly when the stakes get personal. Overall, the editing and pacing work hand in hand to keep the audience hooked from start to finish, delivering a roller coaster ride of thrills and emotions that never feels overdone or undercooked. The soundtrack and score of Mortal Kombat II play a huge role in shaping the film's atmosphere, perfectly amplifying the intensity and emotion of each scene without ever overpowering what's happening on screen. From the opening moments, the music sets a tone that's both dark and electrifying, mixing heavy beats and powerful orchestral elements that mirror the raw energy of the fights and the high stakes of the tournament. Throughout the film, there are standout compositions that stick with you, themes that pop up at key moments to highlight a character's presence or an important turning point, giving the story a sense of cohesion and emotional depth. The score cleverly uses recurring motifs, so when you hear certain musical phrases, it instantly connects you to the characters or the ongoing conflict, making the experience more immersive. What's really impressive is how the music knows when to pull back. The use of silence or minimal sound in tense scenes builds suspense and lets the visuals and performances speak for themselves, making the explosions of music that much more impactful when they hit. The blending of electronic elements with traditional instruments creates a soundscape that feels modern but also pays homage to the franchise's roots, giving Mortal Kombat 2 its own unique audio identity. Whether it's ramping up the excitement during a brutal fight or underscoring a quiet, emotional moment, the soundtrack and score work hand in hand with the story to keep you fully engaged and emotionally invested. The result is a powerful sonic experience that enhances every punch, kick, and dramatic beat, making the film's world feel alive and larger than life. Mortal Kombat 2 isn't just a non-stop action spectacle. Underneath the epic fights and jaw-dropping moves, the film digs into some deeper themes that give the story real weight and resonance. One of the key ideas it explores is the nature of loyalty and what it means to fight not just for yourself, but for a greater cause or community. This theme runs through the relationships between characters, highlighting how trust and betrayal can change the course of the battle and the fate of entire realms. The movie also touches on the struggle between destiny and free will, showing fighters grappling with their roles in this ancient tournament and whether they can break free from the paths laid out for them. Alongside that, there's a strong undercurrent about redemption, characters wrestling with their past mistakes and seeking a chance to prove themselves or change their legacy. These themes aren't just slapped on, they're woven into the story naturally through character arcs and plot twists, making you think about the cost of power, the sacrifices involved in battle, and what it truly means to be a hero or a villain. The film also plays with ideas of balance, between light and dark, order and chaos, which ties into the supernatural elements and the constant push-pull between realms. While Mortal Kombat 2 doesn't get overly philosophical, it still leaves you with thought-provoking questions about identity, choice, and the consequences of actions in a world where every fight could be your last. These messages add an extra layer of engagement, making the movie stick with you after the credits roll, inviting you to consider not just the spectacle, but the human and moral struggles behind it all. The visual effects and CGI in Mortal Kombat 2 work together seamlessly to create a world that feels both believable and spectacular, enhancing the film without ever pulling you out of the experience. The blend between practical effects and digital wizardry is handled with impressive skill. You can tell where real stunts and physical sets meet computer-generated elements, but the transitions are so smooth that it all feels part of the same intense, gritty universe. Practical effects shine in the close-up fight sequences where you see the actors' real movements and impacts, making the combat feel raw and visceral. Then the CGI steps in to amp up the supernatural powers, elaborate environments, and jaw-dropping finishing moves that are signature to the Mortal Kombat franchise. The digital effects don't just add spectacle for spectacle's sake, they're carefully crafted to support the story and the characters' abilities, making the battles more immersive and exciting. Whether it's the fiery blasts, mystical energy, or otherworldly creatures, the CGI is used thoughtfully, never overwhelming the scenes but instead highlighting key moments in the fights and the story. The balance between practical and digital effects keeps the action grounded, while still pushing the boundaries of what you expect from a martial arts fantasy film. Overall, the visual effects team did a great job of blending technology and real-world action to build a cinematic experience that feels alive, thrilling, and totally in tune with the Mortal Kombat universe, making every fight and magical moment pop off the screen in a way that's satisfying and unforgettable. The set design and locations in Mortal Kombat 2 do an amazing job of building a world that feels both expansive and believable, drawing you into the different realms with striking detail and creativity. From ancient temples and shadowy forests to high-tech arenas and mystical landscapes, each setting is carefully crafted with props and design elements that make the environments feel lived in and full of history. The production design goes beyond just background decoration. It adds layers to the story by reflecting the culture, mood, and stakes of each location. You can feel the tension in the cramped, gritty spaces where fighters prepare for battle, and the grandeur of the more epic, sprawling environments raises the sense of importance and scale. The variety of locations also helps keep the visual experience fresh, moving the audience through different worlds that each have their own unique look and atmosphere. Details like worn weapons, ancient symbols, and mystical artifacts scattered throughout the sets add depth and authenticity, making it easy to get lost in this fantasy universe. The way the locations interact with the story, whether it's a battlefield that tests the fighter's limits or a quiet spot for reflection, helps ground the narrative and gives the characters a physical space to grow and clash. Overall, the set design and locations work together to create a rich, immersive world that feels as real and compelling as the characters themselves, pulling you further into the heart of Mortal Kombat 2's thrilling saga. The dialogue and script in Mortal Kombat 2 strike a great balance between being sharp, engaging, and fitting perfectly within the high-stakes world of the film. The conversations never feel forced or overly complicated. Instead, they flow naturally, reflecting the personalities of the characters and the tension of the situations they're in. There are plenty of moments where the script delivers clever lines packed with wit and humor, offering a break from the intense action while still keeping the tone grounded. At the same time, the dialogue carries emotional weight when it needs to, allowing characters to express their inner conflicts, motivations, and fears in ways that add depth to the story. Some standout lines become instant highlights, sticking with you long after the scene ends, whether because they're delivered with perfect timing or because they capture the essence of a character or theme. The script smartly uses these moments to define relationships and build tension, whether through biting banter between rivals or heartfelt exchanges between allies. What's impressive is how the writing manages to respect the source material's iconic style without feeling cliché, giving new life to classic lines while introducing fresh dialogue that feels modern and relevant. The pacing of the dialogue keeps the story moving smoothly, avoiding info dumps and instead revealing key details organically through conversations and confrontations. Overall, the script's combination of sharp wit, emotional resonance, and memorable lines helps to elevate Mortal Kombat 2 beyond just a spectacle, making the characters more relatable and the story more compelling through the power of words as much as action. Mortal Kombat 2 knows exactly what genre it's playing in but isn't afraid to mix things up and keep the audience on their toes. While it embraces the classic elements of martial arts action and fantasy battles that fans expect, it also throws in fresh twists that prevent it from feeling like just another typical fight movie. The film delivers non-stop, high-energy action sequences packed with jaw-dropping choreography and special moves, ticking all the boxes for hardcore fans of the genre. But it doesn't stop there. It layers in suspenseful moments that keep you guessing about alliances and outcomes, adding tension beyond just the physical fights. Humor sneaks in at just the right times, lightening the mood without undercutting the stakes, and giving the characters a bit of personality and charm that makes them more than just warriors. The drama is woven throughout the story in a way that raises the emotional stakes and gives the battles more meaning, whether through personal rivalries, redemption arcs, or the fate of entire realms hanging in the balance. Instead of leaning heavily on clichés, the film refreshes familiar tropes with unique character twists and unexpected plot turns that keep things feeling lively and original. The balance between all these elements, action, suspense, humor, and drama, is carefully handled, creating a rhythm that keeps you hooked without overwhelming any one aspect. It's a genre experience that respects its roots but knows how to keep evolving, making Mortal Kombat 2 both a satisfying sequel for longtime fans and an exciting ride for newcomers. Mortal Kombat 2 sneaks in some interesting social and cultural commentary without hitting you over the head with it, weaving these themes into the story in ways that feel natural and add an extra layer of depth to the film. While on the surface it's all about epic battles and supernatural showdowns, underneath you'll find reflections on power dynamics, identity, and the struggle for control, themes that resonate in today's world. The movie touches on ideas of diversity and inclusion through its varied cast of fighters from different realms and backgrounds, showing how different cultures and beliefs collide but also come together in unexpected ways. It also explores the concept of legacy and the pressure to live up to expectations, something that speaks to universal experiences of family, tradition, and personal growth. The way the film handles conflict often mirrors real-world tensions, presenting battles that are not just physical but ideological, highlighting how divisions can be bridged or widened depending on choices and alliances. Importantly, these topics aren't shoved into the plot as a checklist but integrated into character motivations and story arcs, making them feel like a natural part of the narrative rather than a forced message. Even when dealing with complex or sensitive issues, Mortal Kombat 2 balances the seriousness with the entertainment value, making sure the commentary supports the story without overshadowing the action and excitement. This subtle approach allows the film to engage audiences on multiple levels, giving fans more to think about while still delivering the high-energy spectacle they came for. Mortal Kombat 2 does a great job of hooking its audience emotionally, pulling viewers into a roller coaster of feelings that go far beyond just watching a fight. There are moments that spark pure excitement, heart-pounding battles where every move feels like it could change the outcome, keeping you on the edge of your seat. But it's not all action. The film throws in surprises that hit you emotionally, whether it's through a character's sacrifice, a heartfelt reunion, or a twist that shakes up what you thought you knew. These scenes invite real connection, making you care about the fighters as people, not just as warriors. Laughter pops up too, thanks to clever dialogue and the occasional playful interaction between characters, which lightens the mood and makes the story feel more relatable and fun. The film also knows how to shock. Sudden betrayals, unexpected outcomes, and visually stunning moves that leave a lasting impression and get people talking. This mix of thrills and emotions encourages viewers to watch again, catching new details or picking up on subtleties they missed the first time around. Beyond repeat viewings, Mortal Kombat 2 sparks discussion among fans about character choices, story twists, and what might come next, making it a movie that sticks with you long after the credits roll. The way it balances excitement, emotional moments, and surprises creates a rich viewing experience that keeps audiences fully engaged and eager to dive back into the world it builds. Mortal Kombat 2 definitely stakes its claim among the best in its genre and franchise by blending familiar elements with fresh twists that keep things exciting and unpredictable. Compared to previous Mortal Kombat films and similar martial arts action movies, this sequel steps up in almost every way, from more intricate fight choreography and higher production values to deeper character development and a more layered story. It doesn't just rehash the same old formula. Instead, it adds new dimensions to the lore and explores themes that give the narrative more substance. When stacked against other modern action and fantasy films, Mortal Kombat 2 holds its own by balancing intense battles with emotional stakes and injecting humor and suspense at just the right moments. The director's touch brings a unique style that sets this movie apart from others in their filmography, showcasing a better grasp of pacing and visual storytelling that makes every scene pop. While it respects the source material fans love, it also introduces new characters, unexpected plot twists, and creative uses of CGI and practical effects that give it a fresh, modern feel. Whether you're a die-hard fan of the franchise or new to the world of Mortal Kombat, this film offers something that feels both familiar and excitingly new, carving out its own place in the crowded landscape of action and fantasy cinema without feeling like just another entry on the shelf. Mortal Kombat 2 is packed with symbolism and metaphors that add fascinating layers beneath the surface action, giving the story more depth and inviting viewers to look closer at what's really going on. Throughout the film, recurring motifs like fire, darkness, and balance aren't just there for visual flair. They represent bigger ideas about destruction, renewal, and the constant struggle between opposing forces. Characters themselves often embody symbolic roles. Some represent chaos and rebellion while others stand for order and tradition, turning their clashes into more than just physical fights but battles of ideology and identity. The arenas and settings are filled with hidden visual cues, ancient symbols etched into walls, specific colors associated with certain realms or characters, and objects that hint at past events or future twists, creating a rich tapestry that rewards careful viewers. Even the choreography of fights can be seen as a metaphor, with moves and styles reflecting a character's personality, history, or emotional state, turning each battle into a storytelling moment. These symbolic elements enhance the film's themes by reinforcing ideas about power, destiny, and sacrifice without needing to spell everything out, making the narrative feel layered and immersive. The use of metaphor and symbolism invites audiences to think beyond the immediate spectacle and connect with the story on a more thoughtful level, turning Mortal Kombat 2 into an experience that's as intellectually engaging as it is visually thrilling. Mortal Kombat 2 builds strongly on the foundation laid by the first film, expanding the franchise's universe in ways that feel both natural and exciting for longtime fans and newcomers alike. It dives deeper into the overarching narrative, exploring the consequences of the previous battles and raising the stakes by introducing new realms, characters, and challenges that broaden the scope of the story. This sequel doesn't just retread familiar ground, it adds fresh layers to the Mortal Kombat mythology, revealing more about the origins of the tournament, the history of its fighters, and the complex politics between different realms. By doing so, it helps create a more immersive and interconnected world where every fight and alliance feels meaningful within the bigger picture. The film also respects the legacy of the franchise, paying homage to classic characters and iconic moments while pushing the story forward with new arcs and surprises. This approach keeps the momentum going and gives the series room to grow in interesting directions. For fans who follow the entire Mortal Kombat saga, the movie offers plenty of callbacks and Easter eggs that deepen the experience and reward attention to detail. At the same time, it's accessible enough for those who may be new to the story, providing enough background and context to jump in without feeling lost. Overall, Mortal Kombat 2 plays a key role in shaping the franchise's future, bridging past and present and setting up exciting possibilities for what's to come, all while delivering the intense action and rich storytelling that have made this series a standout in the world of martial arts fantasy films. Mortal Kombat 2 had a solid budget estimated around $120 million, and it definitely made every penny count. The film uses its resources to deliver stunning visuals, detailed set designs, and intense fight sequences that feel authentic and thrilling. From the seamless blend of practical effects and CGI to the high production quality seen in the costumes and cinematography, you can tell the filmmakers invested wisely to create an immersive experience. When it comes to box office performance, the movie was a financial success, drawing large audiences both domestically and internationally. Strong marketing campaigns, including trailers and social media buzz, helped build anticipation well before release, and positive audience reactions kept the momentum going. Word of mouth encouraged many viewers to see the film multiple times, boosting earnings further. The combination of a generous budget, smart promotional efforts, and enthusiastic fans allowed Mortal Kombat 2 to stand out in a competitive market and prove that investing in quality production and storytelling pays off at the box office. Mortal Kombat 2 hits theaters first, giving fans the chance to experience the full power and intensity of the film on the big screen where every punch, explosion, and special effect feels larger than life. Watching it in a theater with surround sound and a massive screen really amps up the adrenaline and brings the fight scenes to their fullest impact. After its theatrical run, the film becomes available on major streaming platforms, making it easy for viewers to watch from the comfort of their homes. Whether you prefer to stream it through subscription services or rent it digitally, you'll get access to crisp visuals and high-quality audio that keep the immersive experience alive. For those who want the ultimate home viewing experience, setting it up on a large TV with good speakers or a sound system lets you catch all the subtle details in the fight choreography and soundtrack that might get lost on smaller devices. Some editions also come with bonus features like behind-the-scenes footage, interviews, and commentary that add extra layers of enjoyment for die-hard fans. Whether you choose the theater for the heart-pounding spectacle or streaming for convenience and repeated viewings, Mortal Kombat 2 offers multiple ways to dive into its world and experience every thrilling moment to the fullest.